All right, guys, back here I've got Harley's Milwaukee 8 OEM setup. Let's face the facts between you and I. We never want to keep the OEM stuff on there, so we want to rip it off and put all the fun gadgets and new shiny stuff on there. First thing I'd recommend going through is your intake system. Right here's the OEM. We've got Kuryakyn's hypercharger right here. Big step up right off the bat with your intake. Increase your airflow all the way through the engine. This is the way to go. Unlike other models, this one has an electrical controller with it. So make sure with this one to take a peek at the instructions and follow it through, but as a quick tip and trick, when you're routing these wires, make sure they're not binding or going up under this air deflector right here. This can be a common area where you can pinch wires, but it looks like you can get around it. So keep an eye on that. The other setup, you're going to have your breather, your bolts, and your clamps in there as well. So for your stage one, this intake, we need to get the exhaust going as well. So what we've got here is SuperTrapp's 2-in-1 fat shots. This is probably personally one of the easier upgrades that you can get your hands dirty with, is getting to your exhaust. Right off the bats, you want to make sure you loosen up those exhaust studs and crack those loose, pull your exhaust off, and then take a peek and make sure you're working with something nice here. So with this setup, the first thing that I'd recommend you doing is going through and taking a look at all the hardware that you have with it. What we've got here is all the clamps for the heat shields. As you can see, we've got a denim black powder-coated color on the heat shields here, and chrome for our headers into our 2-in-1 with the muffler here. This may look a little bit interesting, but this is their trademark, are the discs here. This helps with the performance end and helps with the airflow coming out. So with the exhaust, this is a part that a lot of people get all hyped up about, and for a good reason. It gives you a new sound to the bike, increases horsepower, and also a different look and curb appeal for it as well. Now, since we have the intake and we've got the exhaust, the last thing to pull everything together is our tuner. There's no way around it, but otherwise getting this thing working in conjunction with each other. So what I've got here is a pretty slick setup from Vance Hines fuel pack. This one's a pretty much plug and play. We're going to get to the install step by step with this, showing you a few tips and tricks around as well. But this is the last step to that stage one setup.